Today we're going to open the Chapin Professional Salt and Ice Melt Spreader. We're going to assemble it and then we're going to go over some of the features and how to use it. So the first thing we're going to want to do is inventory all our parts. Please make sure you have all the parts before you begin assembly. Step 1, you're going to want to take the two pieces that are labeled C8 and you're going to want to connect them to the piece labeled C5 using two H5 bolts with the lock nuts on the back. Before you can do this, you'll need to grab the C11, which is the adjustable plate, and the nuts will go through the adjustable plate, through the handles, and through the rod, and then tighten together. Don't tighten the bolts yet. Leave everything finger tight. There is a rod, C14, that will slide into the adjustable plate, which is labeled C11, and there's a piece H10 that will slide onto the end of C11 before you place it in, and then you will connect that using the cotter pin. So once you get that piece assembled, set it aside. Next, we're going to want to take the body of the spreader, flip it upside down, and we're going to want to take the two pieces labeled C13 and C12, which are the right and left strut assemblies. You're going to want to take two bolts labeled H5, slide those through the C12 and C13 pieces, which will then connect directly to your spreader. After you get them lined up, hand tighten the nuts on the back side. We're not going to tighten anything down at this time. Next, you're going to take your drive assembly gearbox and slide on your spreader plate. After you assemble the spreader plate to the gearbox, you can slide it into the hole on the spreader. Next, we're going to take the C14 piece, which is the shaft for the tires. We're going to grab one tire. It doesn't matter, they're both identical, so you can't grab the wrong one. With the air fitting facing to the outside, realizing that the C14 piece has a hole that's all the way to the left and one that is inset about 4 inches. You're going to want to take the one that has the hole inset 4 inches, slide it all the way into the tire, line up the hole, use an H4 bolt and a lock nut to connect those two. As soon as those two are connected, and again, we're not going to tighten them down yet, we're just going to finger tighten them. We're going to take the piece that's called H11. This is a plastic piece that has grooves on it that will lock into the spreader arm assembly. Slide that over the shaft, and now that you have one tire and one locking mechanism, slide it through all the way until you lock it in. Next, you're going to slide it through the gearbox and through the next shaft assembly. And before you put the next tire on, you're going to want to slide the H11 piece for the right side onto the assembly, and then you can place your tire over, slide it all the way in, use the provided washer and cotter pin to attach the tire to that side of the shaft assembly. Now it's time to attach the handlebar assembly to the hopper frame. We're going to grab the handlebar assembly and we're going to slide it in between the parts labeled C13 and C12. Using two H5 bolts, we're going to slide it through C13 and C12 with the square handlebar assembly rod in between them and attach lock nuts on the opposite side. Again, we're not going to tighten anything down until we're completely done. On the gate valve assembly, there is a nut and bolt already installed. You're going to want to take the nut and bolt off the gate assembly and attach the C7 bar, which comes off your gate assembly control arm. Slide it in there, reattach that 6mm bolt using a Phillips head screwdriver and a 6mm wrench. Next, we're going to attach the auger assembly. The auger will slide over the shaft inside the hopper. There's a hole in the shaft and there's a hole in the auger. Using a cotter pin, line up the two holes, slide the cotter pin in. The auger assembly only comes with the salt spreader and it is removable. Now that we've got everything assembled, we're going to want to go tighten all the nuts and bolts. for everything we just assembled. So using two 10mm wrenches, tighten all your 10mm nuts and bolts. The Chapin Professional Salt and Ice Melt Spreader comes with a grate that can be placed inside the hopper. The grate is used to keep chunks out from clogging up the gate assembly from closing or opening, and to keep the gearbox from jamming. Another nice additional thing you'll receive with your Chapin spreader is a cover. This cover will allow you to keep your product dry from the elements such as rain and snow. One of the main features it has is a 360-degree baffle system, which is right here. Here's the front baffle. As you can see, it's controlled by these wing nuts. Again, this is 360 degrees, so there's one on the left side and there is one on the right side. And these just tighten down with some thumb screws. So this helps you control the amount of spread you get and the amount of coverage you're gonna get. So what you'll notice on the professional Chapin salt and ice spreader is these are all stainless steel parts. So the base is stainless steel, the rod, the handles, everything is stainless steel, which is super durable in inclement weather and resistant to salt. The gearbox is 100% enclosed, which protects it from elements, winter weather, rain, and also debris like salt or sand getting in there. So the professional salt spreader is 100% adjustable. The adjustment adjusts the feed rate of the salt or sand or whatever you have in the spreader into the spread plate. So the further back you pull the handle, the more product is going to enter the stream. There is a locking mechanism here, so once you find out how you like it, what the spread rate is, you can close it while you move to another part of the lawn or driveway or wherever you are spreading, and then you just pull it back there, lock this nut, and then it's locked in that position and you're ready to spread.